People everywhere have discovered that there's a bit more to the symbols around them. An unseen force steering the world, leaving its mark every place it touches. But if bound to material and reason alone, the logical mind immediately sees symbolism's big flaw. Take these for instance. The countless pictures of politicians and various other celebrities throwing up what appear to be satanic gang signs. Now if you think these pictures are all coincidence, I want you to turn off this video and go watch TV. Of course this begs the question, surely the elite have better ways of identifying themselves to each other? Strategically speaking, hidden in plain sight doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why not lies in plain sight and leave the truth completely undocumented? Foolish of course, but you can't own the world and be a bunch of fools, and you need more than cruelty to hijack the world. You need guidance. Their symbolism usually falls under one of two categories: predictive programming and hidden in plain sight. Predictive programming is a technique where people are exposed to a message that causes them to respond in a pre-programmed way to similar future events. Typically, there's a crisis, and that crisis, by the end of the movie, is resolved using certain means. When that event occurs in real life, the individual, although knowing this is real life as opposed to a movie, is inclined to respond similar to those who had been seen succeeding in the movie. You hear it all the time when somebody says, it's just like this movie or that movie, so it definitely has its effect. Then there's hidden in plain sight, the more mysterious of the two motives. Hidden in plain sight is more like taunting than a clever chess move. It involves putting symbols and messages out there, encrypted in such a way so that, if you're not looking for them, the meaning will fall below the threshold of your notice. The number of clues the Illuminati offer outsiders who know the hidden meaning of their symbols is needless, conspicuously needless. So, who stands to gain?
In Watchmen, Ozymandias runs a company called Pyramid International, and in the movie creates a new world order by uniting the nations against Dr. Manhattan. But in the graphic novel, the crisis Ozymandias uses to unite the nations is a fake alien invasion. By the end, Ozymandias, who is obsessed with all things Egyptian, succeeds in his conspiracy, which results in world peace. Watchmen includes yet another character of Illuminati significance, Ra, the sun god, aka Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan, who chills out at the Rockefeller Military Research Center, is repeatedly connected to the sun god Ra, and similar to Ra, the sun god of Egyptian mythology, Dr. Manhattan turns his back on humanity and leaves Earth, and humanity has turned against him. So, Dr. Manhattan retreats to Mars and constructs a flying machine that looks like the sun no matter which direction you're looking at it. Here's Ra, written out in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Notice the sun symbol here. Now look at the symbol on Dr. Manhattan's forehead. This Egyptian symbol designates the sun. It's also worth noting that Ozymandias, Manhattan's buddy, has a belt adorned with the Eye of Ra. Even our old super friend, the reluctant Batman, shows up in Watchmen. More so than the graphic novel, the movie contains one of the biggest rip-offs of all time, the Night Owl 2, aka Batman the Dark Knight. Daddy left him a pile of cash, an alter ego he and everybody else was afraid of, advanced gadgets and vigilante doodads in his basement, and some scenes are just plain insulting. The Watchmen are an obvious reference to the Watcher, spoke about in the Bible and numerous other texts as being those who were sent down to guide and protect mankind, but eventually go bad. Watchmen caters to conspiracy theorists. It includes pyramids, a New World Order, Rockefeller Research Center where the sun god hangs out, a grassy knoll, Moloch, a character called Mothman, and even a convenient justification for a false flag terror.
Rudyard Kipling, another Freemason, wrote a book called The Man Who Would One Day Be King. This was later made into a big-budget Hollywood film starring the likes of Sean Connery, Michael Caine, and Saeed Jaffari. The book is the story of two soldiers that journey to a country on the edge of India, a country that was once rumored to contain great riches, that once belonged to Alexander the Great. Upon reaching the country, the two soldiers are captured by the local inhabitants, a people called Kafirs, named after their country, Kafiristan. When the two men are about to be killed, a necklace is discovered around the neck of one of the soldiers. Engraved on it is the symbol of the Masonic one eye. The Kafirs revere him as their god and attribute to him the divine attribute of immortality. The man himself first regards himself as a king, and then in his newfound power begins to regard himself really as being a god. From the Muslim perspective, if not that of others, the similitudes that can be drawn from this story are very interesting. The Muslim scriptures called hadith contain many prophecies of the Prophet Muhammad. In these, it is prophesied that a man would arise from amidst the Kafirs, which means infidels in Islam, who would be recognized by his one eye and would be made a world leader, claiming first to be a king and then later to being God, and that he will seem immortal until an appointed time. In another film, the concept of global leader and global government is also strongly propagated. In 1996, the film Independence Day broke all box office records, becoming the 7th highest-ranking film of all time. It entranced audiences around the world with a fictional story of an alien invasion on Earth. However, deep within the film's subliminal messages can be found, indicating the Freemasonic presence and the Freemasonic agenda. In the film, there is a military base known as Area 51. It is from here that the military offensive is launched, on which the salvation of the whole world and the future of its inhabitants depends. The entrance to this installation is a pyramid, on which is engraved the symbol of the one eye. The film shows the USA as the forerunner in establishing a global offensive, involving all the nations of the world, an offensive which is devised, controlled and commanded by one man, one overall leader. The film is part of an upsurge in an upsurge of films and television serials on the topics of aliens, UFOs, and invasions threatening the whole of mankind. These are gradually fueling the growing interest and public unrest on the issue. This is just one of the many ways in which the Freemasons are paving the way for their global government. The Freemasons are using a number of approaches to drive fear into the hearts of the masses.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?